are here at the Dreamland Arts here in St. Paul, where is a great story here and great plays, also prepared by Taous Khazem. Taous, I know this is I mean the name of the story, Sunrise at Midnight, and this is very interesting title here. Usually a lot of things happening at midnight. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about how this idea was born.
So Sunrise at Midnight is based on 3 folktales from Algeria, from the Kabyle region, where my father is from, and it's a Berber region and I went and worked there in 2008, and I worked with a group of women actresses. We went into the mountains, gathered folktales from old women, and created a show based on 3 of those folktales. And during that time, I was reading other translations of stories that were in French, and I was coming across these tales that were very spicy, that were dealing with sexuality, that were dealing with violence, that were dealing with power issues, sacrifice, and I was really interested in exploring them in English with actors in America in a very physical theater style. And so the idea kind of just stayed with me since 2008, and then I received an Artist Initiative grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board in this past year to create this show. And at the time, I didn't know what the title was. I didn't even know which stories we were going to focus on. But we've picked 3 stories, and I'm working with a cast of 5 actors, working with a director and a composer. And the composer, Aaron Gabriel, and we had the opportunity to go to Algeria this past May on a Jerome travel study grant. We have this sort of combo platter of stories that weave and intersect and twist and turn, that we've interlinked and that we've really made our own. So like in an oral tradition, every time you tell a story, maybe something changes a little bit. So we've done that ourselves, taken the story and then changed it to serve the narrative that we're creating together.
In another culture and try not to orientalize a little bit about it, and you said recreating. Is there some parameters or issues that you want to keep it for the American audience?
Really trying to stick to the heart of each story. So what is this story trying to teach us or tell us, and then just make sure that everything comes back to the heart of that, whether it's a quest for power, whether it's one story was a story that was told to young men who wanted to get married too early or very young, as a sort of cautionary tale. So making sure that as he goes through his relationships through this story, that we really stay to the heart of the message, but then adding our own little flavor. Because all of us who are performers, except for 2, we have 2 immigrants in the cast, 1 child, 2 children of immigrants, and then
audience. You've been performing here in Algeria and also in France. Mm-hmm. I mean, tell us a little bit about the audience and how they react to this, what you're trying to do here.
Well, Algerian audiences are very interesting because they're always looking for interaction. They always want to talk back to you and sing with you. And there are a couple moments in this show where I thought, ooh, if we have a couple of Algerians in the audience, maybe we'll get a little feedback from them. I don't necessarily expect that from a Minnesotan audience who feel, and we're taught that in school, even when I teach theater, when you're an audience, you sit and you listen and you laugh and you cry, but you don't talk to the actors. Whereas that lesson doesn't happen for Algerian audiences. They a little bit to us. And performing in France, it always depends sort of on where I've been performing. But when I have performed in French in France, it was at the Algerian Cultural Center, so it was sort of this combination of French audience and Algerian audience. So there was a little bit of that blurry line between performer and audience, and then sometimes it was very clear, and then it'd go back to the blurry line. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we might end up with a little bit of that with this show.
And that's really what's all about, as Algerian Americans, all your life, you're trying to see or navigate between the 2 identity. Mm-hmm. And then I think that also kind of clear in your performance. Tell us a little bit when it is going to start and for how long.
So we open July 20th at 7. All performances at 7:30 p.m. here at Dreamland Arts, which is on Hamlin Avenue in St. Paul. And we have 8 performances total, so July 20th.
Well, thank you so much, and I wish you well with your play. You always do a great job. Taous Khazem is writing and performing Sunrise at Midnight, and that's where really the juicy love stories happen after the midnight, so it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. So,
King of the 7 mountains, which is located east of the Jura mountain range. But remember, you who cut cuts through oblivion and overcomes obstacles accompanied by your white mare. Remember, everything and nothing are brothers. Like brothers, they follow each other without coming together. They are like one another, and yet they are different.
Ha! Leave